Hello all, this is a quick tutorial on OpenStack Horizon Dashboard. As you're aware, OpenStack comes with the GUI interface, GUI graphical user interface. The component name is Horizon, and today I'm giving you a quick tutorial on how to create instances. Right now I've logged in as a project admin, not as a cloud admin, and this is the interface you will come across the moment you log in. You will fall, and this is the name of the project, and you will fall under project compute overview, wherein you will be displayed with the overview of the quotas, which the amount of utilization you have done uh, on your quota. For example, if Cloud Admin decides to allocate you some amount of RAM, some amount of CPU, some amount of instances which you can use, some amount of volume network, so you will see the summary of how much has been allocated, how much you have utilized. Just a quick glance, you can see the limit summary here. You see three different components, which is compute, volume, and network, out of which if you can probably it's pretty much easy to understand that number of instances. 0 out of 10 is used, vCPUs, virtual CPUs, 0 out of 10, RAM out of 20 GB, 0 is used, and volume out of 10, 1 is used, and 0 snapshots, 1 GB out of 100 GB is used. These are the allocations. This doesn't mean that the entire infrastructure has so much of limits. This is basically decided by the cloud administrator to allocate so much of resource to individual projects. Ini Initially, it used to be called as tenants. Tenants, projects, one are the same. So even when it comes to networking, you have floating IPs, which is again allocated. As you can see, there's 50 allocated to this project, out of which 0 is used. I'll come back to all these topics of what is floating IP address, what are volumes, what are compute instances and stuff. Just for the horizon glance, horizon view, I'm trying to explain you a bit of overview about this dashboard. So security group rules, network ports and routers. You will see as well the usage summary. How do we create an instance? As you can see, there are multiple options here as well. You can see project. There are it again. There's lists of options which, if you log in as a cloud admin, you'll be able to see lots of options. But as a project admin, I have been allocated to use this. I have restricted myself to show you as a project admin, and these are the options which I have restricted to. So let's go ahead and create. As I said, I'll be creating multiple videos on each and individual component of this. So let's come to compute, and we were in overview, and you see the option called instances. That is the place where you can do a lot of activities with regards to the instances, right from creating an instance to deleting an instance and modifying an instance as such. The best part about Horizon Dashboard is that they'll give you complete details, like the overview tab, which you saw multiple details about the quotas which is set to the individual projects. Similarly, every instance, every tab has a very user-friendly, understandable interface. As you can see, the moment I clicked on instances, you see a list of names like instance name, image name, IP address, flavor, and so on and so forth. So this gives a very pretty easy, pretty friendly and easy usage of dashboard. Any individual can understand. So as you can see, there is an option launch instance. Let's go ahead and click that, and you will be displayed with options with the total instances. It says, it displays, it tells you that how many instances can you create. That's again set by the cloud admin. I'll show you how to set the quotas as a cloud admin as well and create individual projects in the upcoming videos. So currently there's 0 used and there's 1 added right now, which is so 9. After I create this, it will be 9 remaining out of 10. Let's say create VM1. This is the, let's mention availability zone and number of counts 1. So I'm creating 1. So if I create 2 or 3, I can create simultaneously multiple, and as you can see the number of VMs, the quota will be utilized, and you can see the difference as well. If I say 10, 100% utilization. If you say more than that, it will say the instance count must not exceed your quota available for 10 instances. That means probably you have to get in touch with the cloud administrator and ask him to increase the quota or however the process goes. So this is just a overview. So we are trying to create one single instance. Obviously, even when you try to create a OpenStack infrastructure at your PC, unless you have like huge RAM resource, you will probably go with all-in-one stack or multi-node OpenStack infrastructure wherein you will use multiple VMs. Either way, depending on the quota which you set to test is what matters. So I'm going with one count. And as you can see in the left hand side, these are the data which needs to be filled. And in that, not everything is mandatory. As you can see, there is an asterisk sign on things which are mandatory. So we'll go ahead, click next. Until you finish all those things, you will not be able to launch instance. As you can see, the mouse cursor, it won't allow you to start. So boot from boot from either volume, image, or instance snapshot or volume snapshot. So these are the four options you get it: image or snapshot, instance snapshot, volume or volume snapshot. I'm gonna select image, and once I come down, these are the images which I've uploaded by myself. I'll show you how to upload these things and create these images or delete these images as such. What are, as you can see, the name, updated size, type, and visibility. There are public visible images which are publicly available, and you can create private images as well, which is only for the individual projects which cannot be accessed by any other projects. And you can see the type, the QCOW2, and there are other types as well, which I'll come to it when I come to the cover the glance part of it. So I'm gonna use a small image called 0s. You can get this, you can download this, and you can get this image. It's very small and it just needs 16 MB of RAM. This is just for this testing purpose, guys. So you don't use it on a production because it doesn't run any services. It'll give you pretty much basic commands like ping and check the connectivity and stuff like that. So I'm gonna click on this, which will get selected. As you can see, the size of it is the 12.13 MB and updated. So it has the minimum disk, which is not given. It's not exceeding one or not even 1 GB, and minimum RAM it is given. So I'm going and clicking next, and you see the flavors. So again, like mentioned you about the image creation, deletion, and modification, I'll also cover the part wherein I'll have to make you understand that what are flavors and how do you create it, how do you delete it, how do you modify it. I'll come to that. Again, there are multiple versions. You can create it in web interface using Horizon, and I'll come to the part wherein you can create it using CLI as well. So for the 0s image, we need very minimum requirement, which as you can see, M1 Nano has one CPU, 64 MB of RAM, 1 GB or 1 GB of root disk. Ephemeral disk is 0 and public, yes. Rest all are more than that, 512 MB. We don't need it because it's a very minor thing, so we use it. We click on this, which gets selected here, and that's about it. So rest of the things you can skip as well, but just for the understanding, let me click on the networking. There's one networking available, which is internal network. I'll come to that part again. Networking ports, there's nothing. Security groups, there's default security groups, and I'll come to that part later again. There's key pair in case if you want to create a key pair to be able to securely log into this instance, you can either create a key pair or you can use SSH password. It's up to the configuration. And there is configuration if you want to load any customized scripts, you want to add it to any server groups, scheduler hints, or metadata. So we'll not do anything, we'll leave as it is and click on launch instance. Depending on the resource, it might take, because I'm running on a very small hardware, uh, there's not much of compute available for me to be able to uh, make it much faster, as this is a test instance only. As you can see, there is an entry which has come, which we created as VM1, image name 0s. There's no IP address allocated yet. Yeah, now it started. It got an IP address here with the flavor what we didn't create with the flavor what we selected. We didn't create any key pair, and it's in this build state now. It changed to active. The availability zone, task none, power state on. So as you can see, there is one instance which we created. If you want to have a better look at the topology, network topology, you can come to networking and click on topology. You will be able to see the graphical representation of this instance. I'm going to click on normal so that the size will be visible very easily. And you can as well create the launch. You always have this option of creating the launch instance tab on this tab as well. But then I'm showing you the old school methodology. As you can see, this is the VM which we created, and you can see that the ID is this one. It's active. You click on the view instance details. The moment it's connected to the network of 192.168.10.0, and you can see that it is up created since 1 minute, and whatever the information we gave with the IP address and the image name, interfaces, log, console, and action log. So this is pretty much it will look like a VMware instance where only the options. Yeah, see, this is the name and the network which is connected, the fixed IP, what it has got, its MAC address and state like this. You can as well go to the log console and you will be able to see the interface. So let me show you the console. It says if the console is not responding to keyboard input, click on the gray status bar below. I am definitely going to click that because it becomes very handy if it. So I'm going to right click and take it in a new tab, which will directly take me to the console of it. So it's authenticating, authentication is okay. Here you have. So the CirrOS image comes with the default username CirrOS and go comes go. So I'm gonna log in as they have given, and there we are. When we do this sudo su and we become root, and then when I type ifconfig, you'll be able to see the IP address which is allocated 10.11, which you saw in the dashboard as well. So when I click on instances, you will see the same details what I've opened here as well. So this is the a quick tutorial on creating instance using Horizon Dashboard. Just to confirm, this is the IP address, and here is what you saw. Thank you guys. I'll come up with the other videos as well as part of it. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.